Hello and welcome to The Good Life. I'm Gwen Wilson.
And I'm Pete Gatwood.
We've got a great show coming up for you this month. But first I'd like to know, what have you done to your wrist, Pete?
Thanks for asking, Gwen. I was exercising.
Yes.
And riding down a quiet street with my brother-in-law, and we came together, chatting, probably not terribly focused, not going too fast, but my pedals into his spokes and over we went.
Well, now I know why I never learnt to ride a bike.
So, Gwen, coming up on the show this month, we'll be dancing up a storm with the 2015 IRT Community Grant recipients, ITSOWEL, and their Dancing Stars. And we'll have more info about how your organisation can apply for funding in this year's Community Grants program.
Pete will be sitting down to chat with Lucas Shadat to talk about staying physically fit and well as you age, which seems appropriate given what you've done to your wrist.
Absolutely. And later on, we'll be taking a look at the big news stories this month. And our Good Life chef will be teaching us how to throw together an easy stir fry.
Sounds good.
Yep.
But first we're off to the theatre to talk with the stars of 6 dance lessons in 6 weeks, Nancy Hayes and Todd Mckenney, about treading the boards together and the secret to not slowing down as you get older. You'd think that at 72 years of age, the idea of dancing up a storm twice a night would be exhausting, but for Nancy Hayes, it's a pleasure. Nancy and Todd Mckenney are the stars of the eagerly awaited return of 6 dance lessons in 6 weeks. It's a witty, biting and emotionally moving show about never being too old to keep learning. We caught up with the show's stars to ask them about what they've learned from each other over the 20 years since they first performed together.
We first worked together when we did 42nd Street back in '89. And Todd was about your first music.
Yeah, that was my first lead role. Yeah.
Lead role. So we've shared a lot of years. We've been on stage a lot together. I've directed Todd. He's, we've shared, as I said, the sharing. We've shared a lot, and I think we bring a great trust in one another.
And we were
stage.
both dancers to start with too, so we have a very similar language and a shorthand, if you like. So the rehearsal period, we know, physically how the show should feel, and we know that without saying anything. Nancy loves to warm up and be prepared. I love to rehearse and be prepared. So we have a very similar work ethic, and so to bring that on stage is there's an easy fit about it.
We've changed. We're now 10 years older, but I think it's probably grown more for us as actors, and we've explored a lot more, I think, in this re-rehearsing.
And we should probably say that 10 years ago, and quite seriously, we were probably just a little bit too young for it. So I feel like we've grown into it, and we've had 10 years of life experience, getting older and all that comes with that, that we now have added on to our characters from the last season 10 years ago. So to me, the characters seem more fully developed and richer, I think would be a good word. It's very relatable, especially I think to people over 50 or people as they get into their senior years. I think one of the big issues they face is becoming invisible and, becoming disregarded, and this play certainly deals...
She talks about a woman alone, she's a widow, becoming invisible, and people not noticing you, not having a husband by your side. I think people relate to that, women relate to that. Well, I'm fortunate to do what I love and have loved for a very long time, and I've been given the opportunity to continue to do it. So I have to keep myself pretty healthy and fit. Not that I don't have my moments when I've got my aches and pains, but still I think the joy of dancing gets me over that.
At my age, who knows how much time I have left? Why waste it all, Gilly?
Never stopped me.
I've noticed, but you can't understand yet.
You think I can't understand mortality?
You're still enjoying the gift of youth, Michael. And despite what my senior's newsletter says, the world does belong to the young.
No, it doesn't, Billy. We're renting it just like the rest of you. Tango,
senor.
If you'd like to see Nancy live on stage, she recently joined the cast of Stephen Sondheim's Follies, starring Lisa McCune and David Hobson. You can find out more about the show at folliesinconcert.com.au.
Welcome back to The Good Life. We're joined now by Lucas Shadat of Shadat Fitness to give us some tips about staying healthy and active as we get older. Welcome to the show, Lucas.
Thanks for having me here, Pete.
Can you tell us about yourself and how you got into the whole fitness scene?
Yeah, I have a background in sprinting, so for a good 15 years I was a state and national sprinter, and started Wollongong University back in '99 and sort of had a real thirst for health and fitness, and then progressed from there to eventuate into Shadat Fitness a few years after. So we've been around for a good close to 10 years now.
Right. And in terms of the people that you work with, what sort of age groups are we talking about here?
We have a broad age range. We have from kids, so we run a sprints academy for children, as well as our personal training side of things. We have kids as young as 5 and 6, all the way through to my oldest client who just turned 80. So he comes to me for strength training just the other day. He's fantastic.
Wow. So you obviously work with a lot of people. What do you see, how do you see people improving, and how does it improve their life?
We see fantastic improvements on all facets of, sort of fitness, in strength, just in general, I suppose, health and well-being. So we fitness test a lot of our clients there basically on every quarter. So they'll be tested on all facets regarding their own level of strength and fitness. So no two tests are always going to be the same, because no two individuals are going to be the same. So every program's individualised there basically. And we do see a lot of gain in terms of strength. Bone mineral density, so we send them for their bone mineral checks, a lot of our elderly clients as well. So, and it's just fantastic to see.
And we hear a lot of correlation between physical fitness and mental health. Do you see many benefits mentally to people?
Absolutely. I've just noticed it myself, when clients have sort of come in where I suppose you could say they're a little bit down, sort of they're looking for that outlet. Exercise does provide that endorphin release, which is like that natural high. And we really do notice, and clients on their testimonials notice it massively, and just clarity of thinking, productivity at work, general everyday tasks seem a lot easier, essentially.
And you said before that you worked with people from the age of 6 to 80. So how do you do things differently with those various ages?
Well, with the elderly more so, we're looking at functional strength. So essentially, working on balance, working on strength to ensure their muscle fibres don't waste away, their bone mineral density doesn't decrease. So if they do hopefully not have a fall, then they can recover a lot quicker than, say, someone with less bone mineral density or less muscle mass.
Well, you can see I've done a little bit of damage to myself.
I can see that, yeah.
Now, it did mean a broken bone, but it has been repaired. I'm just wondering whether I might have got away with it when I was 20 compared to being nearly 60.
Potentially. Depends on the type of fall. It looks pretty nasty though. Yeah, it depends on your bone mineral density level. So if you had a test recently, you would be able to see exactly what you do, and it would also be dependent on what you're doing training prior to that as well.
Right. So while you're here, got any recommendations for me
Absolutely.
in my recovery?
Absolutely, definitely. Jump back on the bike, but on the exercise bike variety, not the actual bike. So
I do have one of those.
Excellent.
I'll get that out again.
Fantastic. And even leg-based movements. You want to work around the injured site, not directly affect that just yet. Let the healing process happen. So leg-based movements. You can even work the opposite arm to a certain extent. So a lot of testing now has happened on our neural pathways in working the opposing side to then aid the healing process.
Right.
But definitely exercise bike is a good one.
All right, that sounds good. Now look, we've probably got a lot of people watching who really don't exercise at all, and they're probably around my age and older, and they probably haven't exercised for a long, long time. Right. How do they get into it? What's some very simple steps?
Definitely. First of all, medical clearance. Get your clearance from your doctor. Once that's sort of achieved and once you're all clear to go, I would start with some light walking, a couple of times a week. And then you can start to add in, once those couple of weeks are up, if you're feeling okay, start to walk around, say, some more hills, add some functional movements like your sit down to stands out of the couch, your general walking around with the shopping, your general even push-ups against the wall.
Right.
So you work on a decreased incline. So start with the wall first up and then progress from there. But your sit down to stands are great because it is a functional movement that we do in everyday life. So we're getting out of the chair, we're going to get a coffee, then we come back and sit down. But definitely the walking, low impact, then progress maybe towards the gym if you can.
Well, I was going to say towards the gym, or like what you're doing.
Absolutely.
And of course, when people go and join groups like yours, there's a social aspect to it as well.
Absolutely.
So I'm sure people meet new people, make new friends.
That's some of the best parts of training.
And there's a common goal, correct?
Absolutely. Look, we've got a lot of our groups, especially our group outdoor classes, they'll go for coffees and brekkie after. There's a lot of business relationships and even marriages that have been formed out of our company. So as a result, there's lots that happen.
No marriage breakup.
No, thank God. But overall, yeah, it is a really good social aspect. And whether you're doing the personal training, the one-on-one side of things, or with a group aspect, it's you do really form a close bond with everyone there. Yeah.
Well, Lucas, it's been absolutely fantastic having you on the show.
Pleasure,
You've been
Pete.
a breath of fresh air.
Thank you, mate.
It's great to sit next to someone so fit and healthy. And thanks for the tips.
Thank you very much. Appreciate your time. Thank you.
Thanks very much.
Cheers.
Good on you.
Thank you.
And now we check in with one of last year's IRT Foundation Community Grant recipients, ITSOWEL's Dancing Stars, to see what great things they've been doing for the community with their grant.
Author Vicky Bohm once said, "There are shortcuts to happiness, and dancing is one of them." That sentiment is certainly true for the participants of the Italian social welfare organisation's Be Happy, Be Healthy program. The program promotes healthy and active ageing of the body and the mind through dance and exercise. It was funded through the IRT Foundation's Community Grants program and is now in its second year. Participants of the program attend weekly lessons where a professional artist guides them through gentle exercises, relaxation and dance. The group also performs publicly under the name ITSOWEL's Dancing Stars, proving that it's never too late to learn something new and it's never too late to become a star. Tell us about ITSOWEL and what you do here.
ITSOWEL is a non-profit organisation. It mainly delivers aged care services to the ageing Italian community, but we also encourage the mainstream community to participate in our activities and programs like we have done with Be Happy, Be Healthy.
And talking about that, how did Be Happy, Be Healthy program come about?
It came about through our Seniors Week activity, which we held last year, where the theme was Be Happy. And it was about getting the elderly people up onto the dance floor and dancing to the song Happy. And they had such a great time that at the end of the day, they actually said, "Can you please do this again?" We went, "Well, we can't have Seniors Week every week, now can we?" And so we then, when we saw the program being advertised, we thought, okay, why don't we develop a program around what these elderly people wanted to do.
Tell us, ladies, firstly, you, Savannah, why did you join the ITSOWEL Dancing Stars?
I joined the ITSOWEL Dance because I'm a volunteer in ITSOWEL for so many years. It's my life, really. So we decided to come in with a coordinator together and a few other friends. That was last time. And I really enjoy because we all friends, and I tried to coming back this time too.
I've made new friends. I've certainly enjoyed the whole experience. It's made me stand up straighter. It's very good for the mind, and I thoroughly enjoy it. And that's why I've come back for the second year.
Right, good. You were successful in applying for the IRT Foundation Community Grant last year. And how did that help you in particular with getting the program started?
Look, it's been truly a great experience. It's first of all helped us to bring on board a professional person who comes from an entertainment background, who also has a lot of experience working with elderly people in the wellbeing area. And he's got a great personality, so he gets the elderly people motivated, and he puts them in a place where they've never been before.
My role is being sort of choreographer, instructor. I came along towards the end of last year. Started a piece of choreography which was from Sister Act, and so what I do is I take the ladies through a series of exercises, stretching, very gentle exercises, Then I do a bit of simple choreography, and then at the end we do, as you saw earlier, a little bit of meditation.
I think the success of the program, you receive from the feedback. And the feedback from these participants has been so energising that it tells us it's not just about, going to a wellbeing program and doing exercises. It's also about forming friendships.
The ladies have loved it. Some of them actually said I'm focusing better, my memory's improved, my posture's improved. So what it does, I think it just enhances their lifestyle. It gives them something to look forward to, and also the connecting with people in a positive way. And dance does that. We know that it increases the endorphins and what have you. So yeah, I'm just amazed sometimes at how the ones that have come back this year, they're retaining the choreography a lot more, so it's actually improved their memory. And that's really surprised me. And some of them have had knee operations, hip replacements, they're dancing better, their flexibility is improved, but some of them are more, their memory's better than mine,
And so for other ladies and other people out there that might be interested in the program but they feel a little bit scared, what would you say to them to come in and become part of the program?
Just come. You will be surprised how much you will enjoy it. You don't have to be perfect. You do your best, and that's all I ask of you.
So as you can see, dancing truly is a shortcut to happiness. The 2016 IRT Foundation Community Grants Round is now open until April 20. Now in its second year, the program invites community groups and not-for-profit groups with great ideas to improve the lives of older Australians to apply for funding up to $20,000. For more information, go to irtfoundation.org.au.
And now we look at the big news stories affecting older Australians this month. A new report has found that planning early for encore careers will help mature-age Australians avoid long-term unemployment. A national seniors report entitled Change is Inevitable, so Plan for It, studied the likelihood of career planning by people aged over 50. Findings reveal that the majority of mature-age people simply do not see career planning as being relevant to their own situation, with few indicating they would undertake career planning in the future. For help planning your encore career, go to ecareersacademy.com. Have you ever thought about becoming a surrogate grandparent? A website that connects grandparentless families with energetic older Australians keen to make a difference is calling for more volunteers. Founder of Find a Grandparent, Kate Kloos, says that many older people are signing up to become a surrogate grandparent as a way of giving back to the community, staying active, and building meaningful relationships with young families that don't have grandparents of their own. For safety reasons, all surrogate grandparents are asked for a national police check. If you're interested in becoming a surrogate grandparent, visit findagrandparent.org.au. And finally, new research has shown that housing affordability is the single most important factor in determining older people's well-being. The Index of Wellbeing for Older Australians maps how older people are faring nationally across a range of domains. It has discovered that there are large concentrations of over 65s experiencing low well-being on the fringes of major cities compared to inner city areas. Industry leaders have welcomed the research, saying it will form an important part of the picture when looking at older Australians' quality of life.
Well, here we are back in the Good Life kitchen. We have our Good Life chef Ben back with us again. Welcome back, Ben.
Thanks, Peter. How are you?
Well, I'm well, thanks. Well, could be a little better. you might be on your own in the cutting department today.
We'll get through.
Okay. So what are we doing today, Ben?
Well, today, Peter, I've got a rice noodle stir fry with Chinese sausage. I've got some braised pork and some variety of vegetables with prawns as well. So first of all, we'll get our wok going. Okay. Just a little bit of vegetable oil.
Yep. Any sort of vegetable oil?
Well, we'll use vegetable oil because it's a neutral flavour.
Yep.
And if you want to go on peanut oil, if you're serving the family, depending on who's there at the day, but there's a lot of allergies these days with young children, so I've got to be very careful. So I've got the Chinese sausage. Now these are a sweet sausage. They're a sweet pork sausage, so just give them a quick cut. So easy to find, and it tastes quite nice.
And you're cutting them on the diagonal just for effect, or?
Just on a slight diagonal, nothing too difficult. So
okay.
They're ready to go. So I'll run through what else I've got here. So I've got the rice noodle, I've got some white onion, red and green capsicum, you've got the prawns, bean shoots, Chinese cabbage, really, really nice, and a bit of shallots and coriander here.
Wow.
Standard Asian dishes, some ginger and a bit of garlic as well.
Got to have the garlic.
Throw my ginger in first. So it's going there. Garlic. Very quick. Now we've got to be very quick because we don't want it to burn. Give that a bit of a... There we go. Now basically everything comes on prawns. Vegetables. So everything's really quick, Peter.
Yep.
It's nice and simple. All the flavours start coming out.
Oh, I can smell them. It's just wafting. Beautiful.
So as we get all this in, run away. All right, so as we start going, everything starts cooking and we slowly start putting things in. Okay, so as the onions and the prawns start cooking out and the capsicum, you'll see the flavours come through, and we'll just let it simmer.
So the harder vegetables go in first?
Yeah, they must go in first,
longer,
just to cook off a little bit. And with Asian food, you don't need to really cook it out that much, really cook it out a lot. So we want a bit of crisp in there, a bit of crunch in the vegetables. Right. And again, retaining that nutritional aspect of our meal. As you can see here, the prawns are starting to cook. You get a little bit of pinkness coming through the prawns, so they're starting to cook.
Can see that.
Okay, so we'll just start adding the rest of our ingredients. So
any order, or?
Throw it all in, Peter.
Okay,
so that's fine. So we've got the
pork,
cabbage as well, and we've got the sausage. Okay, and at this point, I'll just add some sauce. And what the sauce will do is we'll start to steam everything up, finish off the cooking, and then we'll get our rice noodle in there as well.
So this sauce looks interesting. Is that
okay.
One type? Is there a combination there?
Well, I've made this before, so I've got a mixture of soy sauce, sweet soy or ketchup mayonnaise.
Yeah, ketchup mayonnaise, yep.
Okay, and some sweet chili sauce in equal parts. So, and in this quantity, we'll probably need about 300, 400 mils of sauce in total. So, okay, and you can start to hear it sizzle and start to warm up. So we'll give that a bit of a mix.
Oh, that smells absolutely beautiful.
Okay. So while that's warming up, we get some heat into that.
Yep.
Okay, and we can add our rice noodle. This is where we just have to sort of give it a bit of a stir, let the sauce heat up and the rice noodles cook up. While that's warming up, Pete, we'll just cut up some shallots and chop our coriander. So I won't need all of these, but just a quick.
I never know where to finish with the shallots. You're using a lot of the green part of the shallot there?
I like the whole shallot, to be honest. So we'll just chop it up. You've got the end bit here, which has got quite a strong flavour.
Once again, cutting that on the diagonal just gives it a nice effect.
It does. It looks very nice.
It does.
I suppose for me it's easy, but not for everyone. So you try. Listen, cooking is about having fun, and that's the way I said. The more you do something, the better you get at it, and it becomes easy. Well, it becomes fun. So the more we do it, the more we try new things, we'll start to enjoy cooking a bit more. So trying these new cuts is a nice way to become a better cook.
This is looking good, Ben. We must be getting close.
Well, it's pretty much there, Peter. So we're about ready to throw our shallots and coriander in. So we'll get that going. Okay, and adding these in at the end adds that fresh flavour right at the end, that nice pungent coriander and the shallots, and it also gives it a bit of colour, so it just livens up the dish that little bit more. Okay. All right, Peter, it's ready to go now. Absolutely. So about to plate up. So just move across here.
Let's swap places.
Okay. There you go. So you just got to be careful. It can get a bit messy.
Well, it looks absolutely sensational. smells even better.
Well, it's a nice dish, simple. And if you just want to grab some coriander from over there, Peter, and just finish off the top. There you go.
Ah, there you have it. Wow.
Pork, prawn, rice noodle stir fry.
Fantastic.
Very nice.
Should we try?
Why not? I'll just get some one for you.
Thank you.
Be my guest.
All right. I'm going to grab a bit of the rice noodle. I'm dying to try that and the flavours in it. And I'm really getting a beautiful soy flavour through that. I can taste the sweet chilli sauce as well.
That's right. And you get that sweetness, and you've got the sweet chilli sauce there, the soy, the seafood, the vegetables. It's all niceness in one plate.
Mm. And even though that capsicum has been cooking for a while, it's still got that retained its crispness.
It's got a bit of a crunch to it, so it's not overcooked.
Mm. Oh, that is absolutely beautiful.
Okay.
Thanks very much.
Very
Ben.
simple. My pleasure.
Sensational.
That's our show for this month. Our thanks to the Italian Social Welfare Organisation, Todd Mckenney, Nancy Hayes and Lucas Shadat for being on the show.
The next episode of The Good Life will be available in early April. In the meantime, don't forget to subscribe to our channel on YouTube. I'm Pete Gatwood.
And I'm Gwen Wilson. And we'll see you next time on The Good Life.